Valentine's Day.
Yes. Woo.
Woo-wee.
We got the balloons. We got the little shiny things up here.
Yes.
We got the candles.
Candles, flowers.
Yes.
We got everything here. You know, some of my favorite things, right, for Valentine's Day. Listen, we want to wish you and your spouse and your children a very happy Valentine's Day, right?
Yes.
So we know that Valentine's Day is, once a year, and people are like, every day should be Valentine's Day. It's just another day of the week. Just another day. They're rather little humbugs, right? The Scrooges of Valentine's Day. And yes, while we do know that, we should love on each other all the time. I'm here with my favorite person, right?
Yes.
And we should always love on each other. But these special days helps. It helps to have a special day when you can do extra love, extra attention, have that extra help, right?
Right.
So
I know for me, I buy Sanita flowers often.
Yeah, I told him don't buy me none.
And guess what? I still bought her some roses. So why did I do that? Because, again, just like Sanita said, yes, I treat her like a queen 365 days out of the year. I buy her flowers. I could just go to the grocery store and just get some flowers and buy it for her and just be like, hey, babe, I'm just thinking about you. I love you. Do that. However, on Valentine's Day, that is the day where you can kind of kick it up just a little bit more.
Just a little bit more. Another reason to
take it up just a little notch.
Just a little bit.
So.
Yeah. And who don't like to be spoiled? Who doesn't like to be loved on? And I like to include the kids. So, I spoil everybody. Like, when I met Toney, he wasn't even a balloon person. But I believe in balloons. I believe going all the way out and over the top. I always end up, spending more money than I wanted to. But it's important to shower each other, right? And so today we're talking about love. We're talking about, all types of love, right? You got the Eros love, which is the sexual intimacy love. You got the agape love, the, church hug.
The church hug.
I love you, right? You got that kind of love, right? And so you got all these different loves, right? So many ways God has given us the ability to love, because God said, you can speak in tongues, you can fall out, you can go to church every day, you can
sacrifice
serve.
everything.
You can even love your spouse and love your children, right? Or helping everybody else. But if you don't have love, it's nothing.
It's nothing.
It's just loud noise that you're making, right? So God is love. He says that a lot in the Bible. He is love. And so when we're taking the time and we're being intentional and we're planning, we're being strategic, and we're going out of our way to tell our loved ones that we love them, then we are showing and sharing the love of God. Right? And he's the one that created it. And he's the one that's demonstrated how we should do it.
And I think it's, you make a good point about showing. God shows that he loves us every single day. The times you can breathe, the time you can, have all the things that you need in life, the opportunities that you have, the children that you have. All of that is ways that God shows love. And it's on us to show each other how much we love and appreciate each other, because who doesn't want to be shown love? Who doesn't want to be appreciated? Who doesn't want to be said, told, hey, I really appreciate you? I mean, those things, that's why God gave us those emotions, because he has those emotions.
Right.
So,
and there's a scripture that says, do everything in love.
Yes.
So everything that we do should be motivated by the love that we have. And so, so everything tonight is going to be love, 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 love,
the
love.
L word.
The L word, right? And on our sign up there, it says love each moment. Guys, we don't know what the next minute may hold. So we have to stop holding on to grudges and things that don't matter, and learn to love each moment, each second, each minute, each hour, each day, each week, each month, each year that we have with one another, so that we can really, 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 not take things for granted.
Yes.
I feel like in this society, we always just feel like, oh, we could do it tomorrow and we can do this the next week. But the truth of the matter is, we don't know what tomorrow holds. Exactly. So that's why we have to love on each other each day, each time we get. And so we took a moment and we wrote down 5 things. So that's going to be our key. Now, we were supposed to have a guest here today, and it was Trinity Treasure. She was with us last week with Bedroom Candy. However, she's not able to make it tonight. Not for what you think, but she had to work, so she can't be here, but we'll definitely bring her back. So, but we came up with 5 things, and so each one of our segments is going to deal with the number 5, because 5 is the number of grace, right? Yes. And in any relationship, we must have grace. We must demonstrate mercy, right? And so the first one, love is listening, right? We have to listen. Because trust me, we're going to get to the hot and sexy things, we're going to build the foundation on how do you get there, because you have to do some things in order to get to the hot and spicy. Before you can get to Bedroom Candy, you have to lay some foundations, right? So love is listening. Woo! Listening is so hard sometimes. We have to learn to listen.
Yeah, and listening, when you think about it, that means you are intentional about actually hearing what your spouse or what your children is actually saying to you. And not only being intentional about hearing, but actually comprehending and then reinforcing what you just listened to.
Right. Ooh, that's good. It's about being present. So if I'm talking to you and you like this, yeah, okay, babe. Yeah, all right, hold on. And it's every minute you picking up. Technology is so wonderful. It's so powerful tool, but when we misuse it and abuse it, it begins to infiltrate, and you don't get, that person you with doesn't get your full attention. You're not present. Because you can be thinking that you're multitasking, but the truth of the matter is, whatever has your focus is what you are focused on. So if I'm texting, I can hear you and I could probably respond, but I'm not really present in the moment, because when I'm present in the moment, there is no distractions. There is nothing that is separating me from missing what you're saying.
Right.
Because if you always be like, oh, what you say, what you do, what? Listening, not hearing, but actually being intentional. I'm not, a lot of times we hear what our significant other spouses say, our children say, but we're not really listening with the intent of not formulating a response to what they say, but really just listening and taking it all in and pausing. All of that builds intimacy. All of that builds the love and the trust. So listening. Love is listening.
Yes. And sometimes when you listen, that means you have to put your guard down. Just like you said, when you're listening to the person, that means you're vulnerable, because you might be listening to something that you might not want to hear.
Right.
But that your spouse or your children might be speaking the truth in love.
Right. Ooh.
So you have to listen to them. And then once you listen and you really fully grasp what is being said to you, then that should spark you to action.
Right. Because when you listen, ooh, that's so good. That's so good. Okay, number 2. Number 2 is learning. Ooh, you could have been with your spouse or your significant other, or even your children. You think you know them. But do you really? Like, do you really know them? Do you really know your spouse? Like, your spouse is not the same person that they were when you met them. I don't care if you were married for 1 year. You're not the same person. You know why? Because you've had experiences in life that has sort of, impacted your life.
Right.
For some people, it might have been you've been through sickness. It might have been that you've gone through some financial troubles. You're working, you're climbing the corporate ladder, you're in business, so you might have had some highs. Anybody in business, hello, anybody in business, you got highs and you got lows. And guess what? Those things take impact.
Yes.
It changes you. So you're not the same person because maybe you didn't come into the marriage as an entrepreneur. When I met Toney, I was not an entrepreneur. I had 9 to 5. I had my good government job, right? Benefits, right? Now I'm an entrepreneur. No benefits. No benefits. But he has them, right? He still got his good government job, right? And, the steady paycheck. Well, when in business, sometimes you have steady paychecks, sometimes you don't, right? So it's all about learning. Because now I'm different. I'm always thinking business. I'm always thinking, what's the next thing? What can we do? What can we grow? How can we do this? And so it's learning who I am. Who am I developing into? Not just me, but him. Who are your children developing into? So when you're learning, you should study. We got these masterminds for this, mastermind for that. We need a mastermind for our spouse. Like really doing a deep dive into our spouse and who they are, what do they need, how can we better serve our spouse? Yes, I said serve. How can I be a better wife to him? How can I be a better friend to him? How can I be a better partner? How can I be a better lover to him? These are things that you're always learning and evolving because the longer you're together, the longer, the more comfortable you are with trying new things. We talked about that in Bedroom Candy. Trying new things. Learning what those limits are, learning how far you can go.
And then the whole part, just to piggyback on what you just said about serving. You say you love to serve me. Well, I love to serve you, and it is. But I find it interesting because again, speaking from the Bible, it says that a husband should love his wife. And the wife should respect her husband. And, that always baffle me. It's like, shouldn't be love and love. Why is it the husband has to love? But then when you think about it, you as the husband, you kind of set the tone in the house. You are the priest of that household. You are the head of the family. You are the one that's taking the lead in moving your family with the vision that you have established for it. That means you also have to demonstrate love. Yeah. I think it's such a big stereotype that's out there that says that men, especially African American men, you can't demonstrate love, or it makes it seem like you're weak, and that's so far from the case. When you demonstrate love to your wife, when you demonstrate love to your kids, you are teaching them that love is the cornerstone for everything that revolves around family, around marriage. You're laying out the blueprint, whether you think so or not. You're laying out the blueprint for your children to follow when they get older and they find their eventual spouses. Because they're going to look at the model in which they was raised in.
Right. So that brings up legacy, since he's already talking about the children and having a foundation, because love is legacy, right? What we do now is the model. Whether you got children in your home, whether you got your children are out of the house, whether you got grandchildren, sorry, this is my notification that the tuition is going to be paid next week. But it is about setting the foundation. You're always leaving something behind. Again, not to be morbid or, but we all are here. The Bible says for a vapor. We here one moment and gone the next, right?
Yes.
So we're here. And so with the time we have, we're always leaving a legacy. What are people going to say about you? Did you demonstrate love? Are your children going to be like, man, I wish my daddy would have loved me? I wish my mom would have shown me that she loved me. So we're building a legacy. We're teaching our children. And even like I said, if your children are older, your children's children, this is your opportunity to get things right. If you messed up. right? If you didn't do so well with your children, now you got grandchildren. God gives you a whole nother generation to leave that thumbprint. Right? Yes. I think it's Cheryl Wood said we always leave an impact, right? We make impact. We're leaving our fingerprint. So we leave our fingerprint on whoever we come in contact. So are we leaving a good fingerprint, or are we leaving a bad fingerprint? Are we leaving our children or our grandchildren, great-grandchildren, aunties? Okay, you don't have any children. Maybe you got nieces, nephews. Maybe you got children that you take in as your own, or maybe you got mentor, God kids. You still are leaving your fingerprint on somebody. And what is that? What is that? So leave a legacy of love and how to demonstrate that love, teaching them how to listen, teaching them how to learn. We're always learning. You should be a forever learner. Yes. You know, some people are forever students. You know, they go to class, you're like, you still in school? That's how you should be about learning how to improve yourself. Not just yourself, but your spouse. How and what they're doing, and learning about them, and learning about what makes your children tick, what makes them mad, showing them love. Okay, number 4. Love is, I think we did 4, right? We did listen, legacy, learning. Oh, loyal.
Loyal.
Loyal. Ooh. Love is loyal. Ooh. I'm going to let that simmer, because loyalty is something that we're in this culture in this generation, we aren't very loyal. It's like the moment something don't go our way, boom, we done.
We out the door.
We gone. You know what I mean? We ain't loyal to nothing. And a lot of us are more loyal to our football or basketball teams than we are to our spouse.
Right. And you have to think about this. I tell people all the time, my wife and my kids, they are my biggest supporters. They are my biggest cheerleaders. Why would I want to go outside of that? Why would I want to jeopardize that? I am loyal to my wife. I'm loyal to Sanita because I made a vow, not only to her, but I made a vow to God that I'm going to be there for her. I'm going to help support her through thick and thin, good times and bad times. That's loyalty.
Loyalty.
No matter what you face in life, face it together. That's the key. That's why God instituted marriage in the first place, so that you can go through life together.
Yeah, and it's loyalty. When you think about that, like, and I really mean that, because some of these football teams suck, right? Like, they just horrible. But you will put that jersey on and you will go on and cheer for years. Right? No matter what, do or die. You know, y'all be like, I'm a do or die Dallas. I'm down for Redskins. I'm down for whatever other teams are out there, right? You down for those teams. And, you know, I only really know football because that's the only one I really watch. I don't watch basketball, but he can name some. But it's like you are more loyal to those things than your spouse. I mean, you don't even know those people. But you'll wear that jersey, you will go to their games, you will watch, sit there and give up all your time on a Saturday or a Sunday or a Thursday night, Monday night, and you'll put more stake into them than the one that you vowed to.
The one you sleeping next to.
The one you sleeping next to. Maybe you're on the couch. You're still in the house. You're in the house, and you're more loyal to things that are outside. You're more loyal to things at work. You're more loyal to things, your friends. You might be more loyal to, you know, projects that you're working on, or your own business. You're more loyal than you are to your spouse. And so love means I'm more loyal to you. I may make mistakes. You know, one thing we always say is we're not perfect, but we're perfect for each other, right? We make mistakes. It's nobody said that, hey, you won't make any mistakes. But the problem is, what do we do when we deal with when we come across the mistakes? Or like Toney was saying earlier, when the hard truths come out, can you be loyal when your spouse says something to you that you don't like? Or do you just be like, I'm out, I'm bouncing, this ain't for me? Like, we have to be loyal in the good and the bad, because those were our vows, in sickness and in health. Somebody gets sick, you gone. I mean, think about the B. Smith thing.
Oh.
Right? That's a prime example.
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that because that's real, right? Here it is, B. Smith and her husband. I can't think of his name. But here it is. He's in the house, in their house, with a mistress.
Their house.
Like, she's got a room in his wife's house.
Yes.
And she's not even in the frame of mind. I believe she has Alzheimer's.
Yes.
So she doesn't even know what's going on. She may not even know who he is really or who she is, the other woman. But you bring her into, you bring this other woman in the house talking about your needs. That's not loyalty.
That is not loyalty.
I'd rather you just go ahead and just cut your ties and leave than spend your wife's money on the mistress in her house.
Yeah.
What? First off, where's the family? Because I can tell you now, you'd be dead. But let me just be clear. Ain't no way my family would stand by and watch you do this. If my daddy didn't take you out, he probably would.
No, I think the husband got Alzheimer's himself, because how you gonna be in that frame of mind to be like, not only am I cheating on my wife who is still alive. I mean, she has Alzheimer's. She mentally, she's not there, but she's still physically. You still married to her, which means you are still held responsible for those marriage vows that you made. You are still held accountable for being with her to the end. Yeah. And you're going to have that selfish mindset, because it's really about being selfish. Yeah. The selfish mindset of, hey, I got needs. It ain't like what it used to be no more. Right. I'm not even going to just have a girlfriend. I'm going to have a girlfriend, and I'm going to move her into the house. Anyway, we can talk about that for like that's a whole segment. That's a segment right there by itself.
But love is loyal. If you love somebody, I mean, I know I have never met. Well, I met this one lady online. I won't say her name, and I watched her as she took care of her husband who was sick. I could use my own cousin, Princess. And I watched these two ladies work with their husband. And I mean, they were at sickness hospital. Every day you don't know what the next moment is going to hold. And these ladies were by their spouse's bedside, barely, going to get something to eat, barely, going to take care of their own personal needs, but being at the bedside of this spouse as their spouses were dealing with some really strong issues and illnesses, right? And they were there. Never once had they ever thought, let me just go out here and give me another little side piece of a man and get my, sexual needs met, my emotional. They were emotionally tied to their spouses who were on their sick bed, and they knew that there was a possibility that they were not going to come back home, and they didn't. And guess what? That's loyalty. That is what is required. So for all you singles who want to be married, do you and can you take this person in sickness and in health, for better and for worse, right? For richer or for poor, because it's not about a gown. It is not about standing before people and having this lavish wedding and about the party and where am I going for vacation. It is about when the rubber meets the road. Can you be loyal? Can you be there if your spouse's hair is falling out because they got cancer and they got chemo? Can you stay there if they're going through some other medical challenges that causes an imbalance and they just can't? Can you be loyal if your spouse's mind goes and they don't even recognize you? Can you be loyal? Because that's what God requires when you say I do. He says it is better that you don't make a vow than you make a vow and you break it. Okay? Yes. So anyway, I don't want to preach, but I'm just serious about that loyalty.
Yes.
Loyalty, because we are so cosmetic. If I've seen people who have gotten married and on their honeymoon they've had accidents that have transformed their whole face or their body, so the things that their spouse said I do to, they were standing up on two legs And now their spouse may be in a wheelchair, and that spouse is there, loyal, because I married you, because I said I love you for who you are. So you got to be loyal. But anyway, let's move on. The last one, longevity. Woo.
And when you talk about longevity, that means that we talked about the legacy aspect, where you pass it down, that love down to your kids. Generational. Longevity means, when the kids move out, I'm still going to love Sanita.
Right.
I'm still going to be there for her. I'm still, the same love that I had for her when we said I do September 19, 2009, is the same love that I'm still going to have for her now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, how many more years from now, that we are still together. Longevity, because when you look at it, and something that you really hit on is the expectations. The reason some marriages last 40 plus years, I know we met some couples that were married 60 plus years.
And we mean the healthy ones. We don't mean like y'all just together and he down the street in another house and you in another house. We mean y'all together and you're happy, not without problems, but you're together.
But you're together. That's because they communicate. That's because they are honest with each other. And that's because their love is unbreakable. You have to marriage proof. You have to marriage proof your marriage, your family. Fireproof.
Yeah. Like marriage proof.
Marriage proof. Fireproof. Bulletproof.
Fireproof.
All that proof. That's the only way it's going to be longevity in your marriage. You have to keep the outside mess out of your marriage and keep all the love, the humbleness, the realistic expectations, the listening, all the other things that we mentioned. You have to keep that in to keep it long.
Longevity. It means just what it means. It means to stand the test of time.
Yes.
And the only way you can do that is to ride out the storms. I mean, marriage is like hills and valleys. It's like that roller coaster, like one of our favorites, which is the Griffin, right?
Oh, yeah.
The Griffin, you go around. It's at Busch Gardens. You should check it out. But you go around, and then they got this one part where you kind of dangling before it just drops. And that's just like marriage. Like sometimes you're dangling. Sometimes you can't see the bottom. You know what I mean? And then you go down that big old hill and your heart sinks and all of that. And so it's like longevity. It's can you stand that test of when things are going crazy and you don't know and your heart is about to leave your chest because it's just so much happening. Right? Yes. So we're going to take a break. So let me give you the top 5 of what love is. Love is listening. Love is legacy. Love is loyal. Love is learning. Love is longevity. And love is legacy. Having these 5 L's in your love life will build to the fire that we're going to be talking about later on in our show. We're going to come back in 1 minute. Stay tuned.
All right.
In 2018, I personally helped several people reclaim their healthy lives with a ketogenic lifestyle. Together with our team, Wakaya Perfection, we've helped over 4,000 people struggling with weight loss to burn off unwanted fat naturally and control hypertension, type 2 diabetes, and high cholesterol with our Bula Fit Keto Fuel Shake and high-impact ginger and turmeric. Contact me for yours. Buttons, BoutThatKetoLife.com. That's BUTTONSBOUTTHATKETOLIFE.com or call at 202-875-3926.
Weight loss expectations are approximately 1 to 2 pounds per week. Individual results can and will vary.
Welcome back.
Yes.
We were so pumped up, we forgot to even tell y'all the number to call in if you had anything to say. The number to call in is 240-719-2566. Again, 240-719-2560. So when we last left, we were talking about the 5 L's to love, right? Now we're going to talk about the 5 love languages, just real brief. We're not going to go in deep about the love languages, but in order to effectively speak or to set the tone tonight, you need to know what your spouse's language is. Sometimes we're shooting arrows and, or again, it doesn't matter. And we're not talking about, some people might be like, well, I've been with them for 20 years. I know what their language is. Okay. But sometimes it shifts. You know what I mean? So one time it might have been the acts of service. So I'm going to start with mine because I like acts of service, right? Acts of service, right? Those are the things that you do for your spouse and they don't have to ask. They're not asking you to do anything, but you're picking up the slack. You're picking up the things that they don't have to do. Like, for example, if I'm a, basically stay-at-home mom, businesswoman, I'm in the house all the time. So for Toney to come in and just, do the dishes or do the laundry or do something with the children so that I can finish up something else, like getting them ready for bed, doing their homework. Those are acts of service, making the bed or doing anything, to serve me. Something that would take the burden off of me from having to do is the act of service. And when you speak your spouse's love language, there is benefits to speaking your wife or your husband's love language. And it goes the same way, ladies, or men who may be watching and who your love language may be acts of service. So it's the same thing, ladies, is doing something that he would normally do, but you're doing it. To show him that, not even to show him, like, he may not even realize it. You know what I mean? Or he might be like, oh, you did this. Like, he goes in to do something that is a part of his routine, but you've already done whatever. Maybe his role or what he likes to do is wash the bathroom, clean the bathroom, but you did it. It's acts of service. Maybe you take his clothes to the cleaners for him, and that's one less thing he has to do. Taking his clothes to the cleaners. Or maybe it's going to the store for him and picking up something that he said, just like, oh, I got to go to the store when I get home and I got to go get XYZ. Well, you go to the store and you get XYZ. That's acts of service.
Ooh, that's big.
Yeah.
That's big for me because when I normally leave the house, I don't get back home till late. 7 o'clock, 7:30. So... And it's just like, okay, I got to get home, and then I got to go right back out and go do X, Y, and Z. But if I come home, and then she's like, oh, I already took care of that for you. It's just like, whoa.
Wow.
It's like that huge load is just off of my shoulders. So that means a whole lot. She could have just thought, hey, she gave me some money or something, but that just means a lot. And speaking of love language, I speak on mine. So mine is words of affirmation.
Yes.
Yes, I love me some words of affirmation because it just helps me to stay on track and lets me know that, hey, I'm actually doing all the right things to help lead the family forward. So when Sanita compliments me on, hey, I know you're working hard. You're providing for the family. You're doing an awesome job. You're a great husband. You're a great father. We all appreciate you. That keeps me going. That keeps the motivation going. Because sometimes I get tired. Sometimes it's just like, oh my goodness, it feels like I'm spinning in circles. But then she'll come and say something to me, words of affirmation that will encourage me, that will empower me, that'll let me know who I really am, because sometimes you can just get lost.
Right.
Do the daily routines of just doing everything. You could lose yourself in the process. So it kind of brings me back into focus and energizes me.
Right. And people like to hear that you've paid attention to something that they've done. You know what I mean? Everybody likes to be acknowledged for the things that they do. You know what I mean? And life can be very mundane because all of us are doing some of the same things. Like we're getting up, we're going to work, we're getting up, we wash our face, we brush our teeth, we go out, we get to work, we go to work, we do whatever we do at our job, we come home, we do the whole thing with our kids, or, you know, if your kids are out of the house, you got your own routine. Then you go to bed, you do the same thing again. And sometimes we miss what that person really does. Like a lot of times when Tony's gone, it's like, oh man, that means I gotta do da 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 da. And it makes you appreciate that person. So now, because I had to do something for him that he would normally do, I gotta thank him. Because then I go, well, babe, thank you for doing such and such because you do that very well. And I tried to do it and it didn't turn out right. Right? The next one is quality time.
Yes.
Quality time is just that. Quality time. We kind of touched on it earlier when we were talking about listening. It's about being in the moment. It's about being with that person. It's about putting the phone down. It's about getting away from the computer. It's about getting away from your laptops and your Androids and your iPhones and all of that, and focusing in on your spouse. And we talk about this too with your children. Your children need quality time as well, right? Everybody needs that quality time because, see, when you have quality time, then when it comes to intimacy time, it's kind of easy because you're speaking my language, because it's like already churning. The wheels are turning because you're doing something that speaks my language. You know, it's just like if you met somebody and English is not their first language, they kind of look at you like, you know, it's hard to progress forward when you're not speaking my language. But when you start to speak my language and you start spending time with me, you be like, babe, I'm going to take off tomorrow. Can you take off on this day, such and such day? Well, sure. Why? Yeah, I just want to spend time with you.
Right.
What? This is not, I'm going to go to the doctor's appointment. I'm not going to the dentist. I'm not going to do all of the things that we need to do. This is, babe, I want you to take off, and I want you to just spend time with me. Yes. And it don't have to be the whole day. Like, we get it. Like, you know, I got to, you got till 3. I got to pick up the kids at 3 o'clock. You know what I mean? But if I can spend 2, 3, 4 hours, what would that do to your marriage? What would that do to your relationship if you just honed in for 4 hours when you were specifically looking into your spouse's eyes and just talking to them? You just, you know, spending that time, you know, and just engaging in them, finding out, you know, going back to learning what is it that they love to do, you know, just going back to when you first fell in love and you just wanted to be around them and you were learning about them and you was engaged, right?
So with spending quality time with your spouse or with your children, you're actually filling up their love bank. Mm-hmm. You're making deposits into their specific love language. Just like Sanita said, when you're speaking their love language and you're making those deposits with your time, with your energy, with your intentions, and you're not trying to get anything in return, those love deposits that you make, eventually you'll be able to make a withdrawal. And when you make a withdrawal,
it's going to be big.
It's going to be big.
Right.
You're going to get rewarded because guess what? Over a period of time, you've been making those deposits. You've been pouring into your spouse, been pouring into your children. So all of that culminates into something that really works out not only for the person who's on the receiving end, but also for you because you were on the giving end.
Right. And so the next one is gifts. Gifts, like giving something. Gifts, right? I love gifts. You know, I like the occasional flowers, right? I like to get flowers. I like to get, you know, jewelry. But again, if you like gifts, it's like really being creative. You don't have to be like extravagant all the time. I mean, while some people love extravagant gifts, it don't mean nothing unless you buy them something. You know what I mean? And that's fine because that's their love language. But it doesn't mean that every time you buy them something, it has to come at a cost where like it's a mortgage payment. You know, so for example, is if you're like, I like flowers. Okay, well, if I got a whole house full of flowers, he may not need to always buy me flowers, but he may buy me, you know, a new vase to put into the flowers. Right. He may buy me a picture with something, with a picture or a portrait or something with my favorite flower to hang up. So it's about being creative and taking it up a notch, because when it comes to all of these languages, it's about doing stuff in the way that that person receives what you're doing, right? And so when it comes to gifts, it's, you know, gifts is one of the languages that, you know, you got to kind of spend a little bit of money, right? Because, you know, whether it's going out and getting something, or maybe the gift is you fix something that, and that kind of borders on acts of service, but maybe you fix something that was broken that meant a lot to that person, and you fix it and you re-gift it. You know what I mean? I mean, so it doesn't always mean the extreme. You go out and you buy them a new Lexus, or you buy them a new, you know, but hey, if you're able. Knock yourself out. But anyway.
But I want to touch on, too, speaking of gifts, I still remember one of the best gifts that Sanita gave me, and it did not break the bank. It was not very expensive. One of the best things that she gave me was, and this was real creative, the way she did it, was I came home, I was gone on a business trip one day, for a week, and then I came back, and she cooked dinner, you know, had the candlelights in the house and everything was going. And then here was the interesting thing. So throughout the whole house, it was these little small cards, and it had like different quotes on there.
That's words of affirmation.
But it was a gift to me because I received the gift. So I would find just all over the house, I'll find these different cards, these different words, love quotes, some things that she written, and I gathered all of them, and I had this little, she gave me this canister that had love on it, and I took that to work with me. And whenever work got hard, whenever work got stressed, I would pull up one of those cards and look at it, and that was an awesome gift because it helped to keep me encouraged, and it helped me to know that she really loved me, to put the time in and the effort to cut those cards out, glue those quotes on there. So that was one of the best gifts I ever got, and it didn't cost an arm and a leg for me to appreciate.
I see why you say it's a gift. Yeah, that's true. I was looking up to make sure I was didn't miss. Oh yeah. And then the most important one, right? So gifts are very important. And it's just like you said, when I gave him that, I'm thinking I'm filling his love tank with words of affirmation. But even that, it still sometimes may intertwine, you know, words of affirmation and gifts. You might touch on two love languages, you know. And sometimes, like I said, it may be strong. One may be stronger over the next one, but it may change, right, as time goes by. And then the last one which is tonight, physical touch. Yeah. Right? Toney is like big on gotta be touching him, right? Gotta touch him. If you don't touch him, he think you mad, you're not in love no more, you're embarrassed. Like, I remember when we first was dating and we was at church, and, you know, I used to I didn't realize I was dropping his hand when we would get to a certain point of our church at the time. And, you know, we would walk. He would meet me at Sunday school, and then we would walk, and we would hold hands. And then we got to this part where, like, really just opens up, you know. We called it the Northex, right? Once we got to that part, Toney would say I would drop his hand. Like, I didn't want to be seen with him, but I didn't know, right? I just thought, okay, you know, I'm trying to get my stuff, and we going into the sanctuary. But he took it as, you know, she don't want to be seen with me. She don't want, you know, everybody know we dating. Like, why we can't hold hands? But I was just like, but again, it was him telling me that I realized that I needed to correct that, right? So physical touch is rubbing the back, it's touching, it's kissing, it's caressing. Doesn't always mean you're going to end up being intimate sexually with your spouse, but it's filling their love tank. Because the more you fill their love tank in their language, eventually you may reach what it is that you hope you might. Everybody, we married people. You want to have that physical touch. You want to be intimate.
Yes.
Right. I mean, yes. Just cut me all off. But yeah, you want that physical touch. And that's important. But you got to go through all, make sure my love language is fulfilled so that I can fulfill yours. Tarena says her husband is big on touch. You got to give them what they need so that they're not looking out here on an empty tank. Because when your car is empty, you start just trying to pull into any gas station. Like, I may like to go to BJ's, right? But if my tank is empty, I'm going to go to the nearest gas station. Well, if your husband or your spouse, your wife, tank is empty, they begin to look. Even if they're not really looking, they may be more open to pulling into another station to be filled. So don't let your spouse's tank be empty and they're just trying to find any gas station to fill them up. Okay? So fill up your spouse. Touch on them. Rub on them. Let them know. Do what you got to do to give them that physical touch. And so, So getting into the hot and the spicy, because we're running, this time goes by so fast, right? And so all of those things, the 5 L's, the 5 love languages, leads you to the climax, right? We all want to have a climax. We talk about bedroom candy. And so now you take those things into your bedroom and you got the 5 senses. And we're going to go through those very quickly, which is what? Sight. Stop wearing them holy pajamas. Start caring about what you got on.
Stop wearing the little things on your
little
head.
do-rag on your head. Sight. Be pleasant. Get made up. Do something different, right? So your sight. What are you seeing? Me, I'm very distracted by clutter in the house. So make sure that wherever, and I'm talking about the planned nights. I'm not talking about the nights where you're being spontaneous and you just don't care. So, like, if you got a lot of stuff around and you know that distracts you, put it in the closet. Plan for it. Men are visual, so are women. Make sure you put on the stuff that he likes. You know what I mean? And it don't always have to come from Victoria's Secret or Adore Me or, it's some stuff that your spouse likes to see you in. That may be his T-shirt. It may be a tank top that you got. Whatever it is that causes him or her to be like, put that on, and that does it for me. Put it on.
Put it on.
Put it on. You ain't even always got to say nothing. Just put it on. They know. Right? So, sight. Hearing. What are you listening to? Yes. I can't get with the, I know there's some super saved saints out there that got to listen to Hallelujah. That don't do it. No.
That don't do it for me.
That don't do it. But if you are that person, you know what I mean? This is not the Hallelujah night with the music, but you might get to the Hallelujah. Okay? But listening, set the atmosphere with some music that gets you in the mood. And if you have a person who's like, I don't want to listen to all of that, secular music, then listen to some jazz.
That's a good mix of both.
Combination, some jazz music. Put on something, whatever they like. If they like the classical instrumental, do you. You know what I mean? But if it's the slow jams, if it's the R&B, if it's the old school music that push you in, if it's whatever it is, 2 Chainz, I don't know who's out. Don't let me start dating myself. I don't know who's out. But whatever gets your mind going, do it. Do your little dance. Do whatever you got to do that sets the mood in your bedroom, right? Because what goes on and what sets the fire in somebody else's bedroom may not set the fire in yours. But that's what you have to discuss, right? So then we got touch. We talked about that. Touch, right? Feel. Bring in some things that brings a little level of touch. So maybe you use the flowers that you got and use it, on the body. use what you got.
Get some hot oils.
Use
just massage each other.
Right. Use some oil. You ain't got nothing, use your lotion. Do something that brings about touch and using the sensory. When we were little kids, we love to do things that enhance your touch. So use your necklace and rub it down his back. You can use all kinds of things, okay? Now we're moving to, we did hearing, we did sight, we did smell. Next, smell. Please, aromatherapy is so important in this tonight. Get you some candles. You could go to the dollar store. Like tonight we're working, but maybe it's tomorrow's your night, right? Because we was like, hey, do we do this show tonight? It's Valentine's Day. But the truth of the matter is that some people, your spouses or significant other, is away on travel or they're working, right? So go to the dollar store. If you don't have a lot of money, it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. Go to the dollar store. Get them little oil things warmers and warm it up, or get the little sensory little bag with the little pine cones in it. Put it in it. Get the aromatherapy
They
going.
even got those little sprays that you can spray.
Get you some.
Just to be like, ooh, something to kind of get the,
Get your sheets smelling like something. You know what I mean? Get this hair. Get you some perfume that your spouse like, and when you wear it,
that does something.
And it does. Girl, get over here. Or, boy, you better get over here. Stop playing with me while you wearing it. Like, your smell. Okay, so then we did touch. We did sight. We did hearing. We did, next is taste.
Yeah.
Get you some stuff that you can add to your bedroom that will enhance the taste of your loved one.
Fruit is your best friend.
Fruit is you can go downstairs tonight and get you some apples, some oranges, some grapes, some strawberries, some grapefruit. Y'all saw a girls trip. Get you some grapefruit, get you some whatever you like.
Whatever you like.
And utilize that for taste, right? Get you some stuff. Your lip gloss, when you were little girls, ladies, and you had that lip gloss and you would put that little lip smacker on and you'd be like, I can't wait to kiss, whatever, might have been your doll baby, But now you got your husband. Get you some lip gloss or something that tastes good. Take that fruit and put it on your lips, right? If you need help, read. We was talking about this on the way here.
Google is your friend.
Google is your friend. We talking about what to say, what you hear. You don't know what to say. Google a poem. Google a card. Google is your friend. And read Song of Solomon if you need help. If you need help with setting the atmosphere and getting your mind right. The Bible is clear. God is love, and He loves love, and He loves when married couples get together and we have sex with our spouse.
Yes.
And so when you utilize the 5 senses tonight, your sight, your hearing, your taste, your touch, and your smell, you will have a powerful night on tonight. Pull out that bedroom candy, Victoria's Secret, Fredericks of Hollywood, Target, Marshalls, Walmart, whatever you got.
Or nothing.
Most men are happy if you just come out butterball naked, right? You don't even need that.
Just some high heels.
But some high heels. Give them something to look at, ladies. Or men, put the boxes on that she likes.
Yeah.
Put them shorts
Not the ones
on.
with the holes.
Not the ones with, unless she likes it, But put some intention tonight. Put them babies to bed. We done spent time with them today, and now it's 10:10, and it's your time. Make it count. And if your spouse is away and working, when they get home, be ready. Be ready and let them know you ready. You know what I mean? And when they see you, they know. You know, so for the ones who may, real quick, spouse may be away, get that phone and leave them a message. Send them some text messages. You know, be careful with sending pictures in this day and age. You know, might come back. But send them something that entices their senses when they come in. Okay? So we've covered a lot in this whole hour. And before did you want to add anything? Because I want to make sure we get to the...
I don't think we're good.
Okay. So... listen, we hope that we want to first thank you so much for joining us on your Valentines. And we hope that you have gotten something that will help entice and something you can do right now. A lot of these things don't cost you anything. You can go downstairs in your refrigerator. I don't care if you got steak. Put steak on them. You know, take some A1s. Okay, let me really bad. But listen, this is the night, you know, plan. If your spouse isn't there, plan it and be ready. So listen, thank you so much for joining us on In the Mix with the Mitchells. And we want to highlight a few things before we leave because we got just like 2 minutes. We will be at our nonprofit, Anaya's Project, is having its first year anniversary on April 27th from 10:30 to 2. Listen, please go to Eventbrite, Anaya's Project, 1 year anniversary.eventbrite and buy a ticket. Listen, we are about grieving couples and helping them to cope with loss and giving support to those who are dealing with fertility challenges. And with your help, with your ticket, we'll be able to move towards giving our first cuddle cot. A cuddle cot is equipment that hospitals have that will be able to, that we would donate to a hospital, which will give families the gift of time. And to be able to spend more time with their infant and even take them home. They could take the cuddle cots home and do things with them. So listen, get your ticket and join us there on April 27th. And check out our page. We'll be at a Blended Family Conference on May 3rd. May 3rd. So look on our page for that information, and we'll be sure to post it. But buy your tickets for that on May 3rd. And we look forward to seeing you. Do we have anything else?
No. Go handle your business.
Handle your business tonight. Look, we are not responsible for any type of babies that are made tonight. But we, you know, take joy in knowing that you'll have a great night. And not just tonight, but the rest of the year. So, look, join us here next week. In the Mix with the Mitchells, where I am Sanita Mitchell.
And I am Toney Mitchell.
And we will catch you next week at 9:15. Thank you for joining. Have a great night.
Have a great night.
We will.